Welcome to World News by Halandzovskyi. If you value calm, clear, and fact-based reporting on legal transparency and public accountability, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspective. Today, we explain why large portions of the recently released Jeffrey Epstein files were blacked out, how the U.S. Department of Justice has justified these redactions, and why this has become a source of political debate. When the U.S. Department of Justice published tens of thousands of pages related to the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein, many members of the public and elected officials assumed the release would reveal new information. Instead, large sections of the documents were covered with heavy redactions, blacked out lines, paragraphs, and entire pages. Justice officials say these redactions were necessary to comply with federal law and ensure the privacy rights of victims, witnesses, and third parties. Prosecutors explain that the files contain sensitive personal information, such as names of individuals not charged with crimes, contact information, medical details, and descriptions of private communications. Revealing this information, they say, could jeopardize individual safety, lead to further trauma, or violate legal protections. The department also cites rules governing ongoing investigations and court proceedings. Some parts of the files remain connected to open cases, subpoenas, or evidentiary material that cannot yet be publicly disclosed without affecting due process or legal strategy. Critics argue that the volume of redactions has made much of the release effectively unreadable, obscuring the context of the material and leaving the public with more questions than answers. They question the balance between transparency and privacy and whether government agencies erred on the side of excessive caution. The Justice Department has responded by outlining the legal frameworks that govern redactions, including statutes designed to protect witness testimony and the identities of victims. Officials emphasized that the public release was intended to satisfy the letter of a transparency law while still respecting broader privacy and legal obligations. The controversy over redactions highlights a persistent tension: the desire for transparency in high-profile cases versus the need to safeguard individuals' rights and ensure fair legal processes. Supporters of strict redactions argue that privacy protections matter, especially in cases involving minors, victims of abuse, or people not charged with crimes. They emphasize that the justice system must protect vulnerable individuals and that releasing personal data without restraint could cause real harm. Legal experts note that federal law sets clear limits on what can be made public, particularly when documents are tied to grand jury proceedings or involve non-public testimony. Releasing certain information prematurely, they caution, could undermine ongoing proceedings, alert potential targets of investigation, or violate clear statutory mandates. At the same time, critics, including members of Congress, say that in a case with such public impact, the government should make greater efforts to release material in minimally redacted form. They argue that excessive censorship can erode public trust in institutions, fuel speculation and conspiracy theories, and reduce confidence that the government is holding powerful networks accountable. This debate plays out in the broader political context, where issues of oversight, accountability, and government transparency are hotly contested. Some lawmakers have called for legislative or judicial review of how the redactions were applied, suggesting that independent reviewers may be needed to assess whether too much was withheld. Public opinion is similarly divided. Some members of the public express frustration that after years of anticipation for these files, major passages are unreadable. Others say they understand the need for privacy protections and legal caution. International observers have pointed out that debates over redacted disclosures are not unique to this case. Governments around the world face similar challenges when balancing transparency with legal and ethical responsibilities. Ultimately, the controversy over Epstein file redactions underscores the enduring tension in democratic governance: how to make institutions accountable and transparent while still protecting individual rights, legal fairness, and the integrity of investigations. Thank you for watching this explanation on World News by Halandzovskyi. If you found this breakdown informative, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share your perspective. Independent reporting helps us navigate complex issues of transparency, law, and public trust. Stay informed, and see you in the next update.